Take a listen to this sound. Defensive coordinator Steve Wilks.
I got to be honest with you. By the time I talk to you guys, win or lose, mentally, I'm on to the next game. I know there's a lot of questions about the call right before the half, so I definitely want to address that before I move on to Cincinnati. Take full responsibility for that call. I have to do a better job in putting the guys in a better position. We have good players. I know that, and can't really press the issue. And with that, moving forward, it's my responsibility to do that. So, wish I could take it back, but again, I gotta do better.
Everybody happy?
I'm not. And the reason I'm not is
dude?
All you owed was your boss, Kyle Shanahan, that answer. You didn't owe everybody that answer, but everybody knew they could come at you sideways because Kyle threw you under the bus when he said it was a bad call, basically calling it a stupid call, which it was. But damn, Wilks, he was so uncomfortable. And then some say Saleh never did that. D'Amico Ryans, they never had something that egregious. I feel like all I owe is my boss an explanation and an apology. But he had to go out there and just get neutered.
Well, let me some stuff, practical stuff here. He speaks every Thursday, right? The defensive coordinator.
Well, I ain't heard a word from him up until now.
No,
but okay.
He how do they decide who? Because Shanahan on Wednesday said, "I know you're going to talk to Steve tomorrow." So Steve Wilks is available at least every other week. I would assume just maybe they go offensive coordinator one week, defensive coordinator another. But
cut a brother some slack. Damn.
What?
You don't have to do me like that in public.
What? It was a terrible call.
Right, but you didn't have to. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Let me say that to the people.
Who's me?
Steve.
Well, you just said Steve only owes Kyle.
Right. What are you?
Steve.
That was all about the circus that was yesterday was a byproduct of everybody basically laughing at Wilks getting called out.
Right. Or the
Kyle
call
couldn't
itself.
have just checked him and buffed him in private.
Well, he was going to get asked about that call, whether Kyle called him out or not, because Kyle said, you're going to have to talk to Steve about that. You have him tomorrow, so you can ask him about it. But
I'm real.
Yeah, but I don't know why that would bother you so much.
Have you guys ever heard Kyle Shanahan take ownership for a particular call the way that Steve Wilks just did?
He's the boss, Evan, so I would say, no, I haven't. But no, sometimes he said, I messed up, that's on me, more than a few times. But he's the head honcho, so he doesn't know. Nobody's coming down this road but the owner, and the owner's not going to get involved in that.
The answer is pretty much no, Evan.
He said he's messed up many a games, Don.
You know what he said? Like the Trey Lance thing. He's running the ball to, and stuff. And then at the very end, he'll be like, obviously, if I knew he was going to get hurt, I wouldn't call a play. Okay. That's his accountability. Well, if I knew that I shouldn't have called it, of course I'd like to have it back. So, but I think Evan's on to a little something there. Red Eye on the YouTube chat, no, Shanny makes excuses. Kind of true.
Well, what did he say about the debacle that was Trey Lance? He did just what you said, took all accountability.
Did he?
Yeah, he said it was messed up. You came in here, we did a show, and you were like, "Goo."
Okay, so
let's move on. He
oh yeah, that's right. That was the one day everyone's like, "Oh, it's a contrite Kyle Shanahan. Yeah. It's a new leaf."
Right,
Kyle. Yeah, it wasn't. It was one day. All
you can do is
putting on a show.
Yeah,
it was one day he put on a show.
But Nahegan, who's going to check Nahegan? Even if you wanted to here, nobody, because that would be dumb. You don't check. The boss runs the ship. You might whisper to your coworker, but nobody's going to come out.
There's nothing weak about a boss saying he was wrong.
No, I'm saying you wouldn't come out and say the boss was wrong. That comes.
Who are we talking about?
I'm talking about Evan's point was, has anybody come down on Kyle?
Exactly.
Nobody comes down on the head honcho.
What are you talking about? We always criticize a head coach. What I'm saying is, why wouldn't Kyle say, I made a mistake?
Bad about Kyle Shanahan publicly? A player.
I'm talking about something totally different.
Well, I'm talking about player.
No, I'm talking about, when has Kyle Shanahan ever taken responsibility for a mistake that he made? Hey, I messed up.
Well,
zero. Very seldom.
Yeah, there's a bunch of options we could pick from.
Very seldom.
I'll tell you this: you giving it a one-off. He did that with the press conference they did for Trey Lance when he was traded, saying I messed it up.
I'd like to get that sound because I don't think he said I messed it up. I think he said a lot of things like we wish it would have worked out better. We love Trey. If I would have had, he never said if I had to do over again, I wouldn't have done it because he can't say that. I don't know.
I think he admitted to letting Trey Lance down. I don't know if he ever took ownership for the pick or for trading up or for it not working out. I think he just admitted that he let Trey down, which is a different tone from Shanahan, to give him credit.
Yeah. 7 years, one time. That's pretty good.
But like when someone asks
2030, we'll expect another one.
Well, because Guru's got the file on him, right? So the challenge, the overthrow. I'm sure there's other instances you could call to Guru, but if someone asked Kyle Shanahan about those particular plays, because yes, he's the head coach, but he's also the play caller, just like Steve Wilks is the play caller. I can't recall a time where a media member has asked him about a specific play and he's ever taken the tone that Wilks did yesterday. Maybe he hasn't messed up that badly, but I can't remember a time, personally.
But you have no problem with him calling the court, the way he handled Wilt, saying it was a dumb call out loud.
I mean, it's not the most tactful, but he's not tactful.
No, do you have a problem with it, yes or no? See, that's who you are, and I love you for it. But you can be so decisive when I say something.
No,
you're so definitive on my answer.
No, you
and
said,
I'm not mad.
No,
but
you
your
said,
whole thing
no.
You're on the fence. It's
on
so
the fence
easy.
isn't against you.
It's got to be nice.
On the fence isn't against you.
Me, but
you said you liked it, or you didn't like it.
If you lived your life how you respond to my answers, you would own the world. Let's just put it like that. The world, you would be. You said it's just amazing. I asked you, and you went.
I know
because
that's fine. Because I don't have a strong opinion about it.
Let something come out my mouth. You are oh boy.
Well, you're arguing against yourself now.
No, I'm not arguing
because
against you.
Wait a minute.
I'm giving you a compliment, but telling you another thing on the other hand.
You just said that you didn't like what Kyle did, right?
Yeah.
Calling him out.
And I asked you yes or no, and then make the noise you made.
I don't know. Yeah. Or, Right. But you're portraying me as saying, oh, Guru didn't like it. No, I like it. I like it, Goo. I think I like it.
Earlier, you were hitting that like it wasn't the worst thing for Kyle to call out. I said he got neutered up there. He could have just did it behind closed doors. And you were like, what's wrong with him? What he did, Kyle?
I mean.
And that's why I brought Nahegan up about, but on a worst day, if you're mad at your boss, you don't say it out loud. Well, you might on the radio, but it's playful. You know what I mean? That comes with the territory. People got to whisper about your mess-ups when you're the man.
Right, and that's why it can be empowering when a boss makes himself a little vulnerable.
I totally agree.
Kyle doesn't make himself vulnerable.
You think that helped his, and some people could be a guru, nobody cares. You think that endured Kyle to Wilks, him doing that? He needs a job, and to get his check, he probably went home, can you believe this one?
I mean, with all due respect to Kyle Shanahan, I do believe he's arrogant. And I believe he thinks he's smarter than everybody. So the fact that he did this to Steve Wilks, or whatever, how he handled it, he hasn't thought twice about that. He did.
That bothers me, man.
I mean, Kyle has the same. These guys are commodities to Kyle Shanahan.
But no players ever come out and said anything or alluded anything. I got to give him credit for that. Well, that was just about playing out of position. But you know what I mean, though, Steiny. Would you say guys seem to like to play for Kyle? I would say so. And then the whole Ayuk thing, look now. He could have said some.
What about Bosa questioning the defensive pack? I'm not used to blitzing this much.
Now,
after the game,
I'm gonna be honest. That's valid. That's his. He can say that. But I thought he did that after he knew it was open season on Wilks because Kyle did what he did.
Well, he said that, I believe, after the game, Nick Bosa, that they haven't been playing the way they've been playing in recent years. He said that right after the game. So, I mean, he was questioning something. It might not have been Shanahan's offense, but it was something about the defense.